All good. Good evening. It's your favorite depressed besties, Chaos and Chroma, here with you tonight with another episode of Depresso Espresso, one of the multitude of series within the Chaos Pod brand. And today we're going to be diving into the LGBT, and I actually think this is perfect timing too, because Pride Month is right around the corner. Might as well dive right in. If y'all don't know, I am a pretty fluid pansexual. It means I don't give a shit what you got going on. If you're a beautiful personality, I'm fucking with you. End of the story. And then my base thingy.
I am very traumatized Ishi. I'm a very openly trans mask individual. I'm currently eating, so I hope you guys don't mind that. Also, I don't know if I'm 100% gay, but that's maybe a story for another time.
Okay, fair enough. That's something to discuss IRL, definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So let me see.
Totally.
I go here. I know there's a couple. There we go. Okay, I was wondering what was missing here. Just a wee bit of setup that I was neglecting. My bad. Hey, James. How we doing? James Money, welcome to the chat. Hope we're doing well today. It's a wonderful Taco Tuesday. Living our best lives. Now, the big question, the big unfortunate question we always gotta ask. The Depressos are about to doom ya. How are you? How are you actually doing today, you guys? How are we?
The truth.
The truth.
Not the small talk that you give everyone at work or at school or whatever. How are you really doing?
What's going on in your life right now?
Let us know. What about you, hon? What's going on in your life right now?
Health issues up the wazoo. I mean, besides that, I think I'm in a weird grief stage. I'm not sure yet, but I'm definitely in a weird grief stage. I actually just had a psychiatrist appointment this morning, so it's like I'm not manic, I'm not depressed, I'm fucking exhausted because my just like once you leave a trauma-filled home, all you like experience is like safety at that point, and you're getting accustomed to it. And when you're in that safety, you're allowed to express yourself in different ways that you weren't able to do so freely before. And I'm noticing that I'm fucking exhausted all the time because I'm feeling more stuff. I'm more hyper-aware of the pains and the aches and stuff. And that sucks. So period, because like I'm transitioning into this new environment, and then on top of it, like a healthy relationship, like there's not a lot wrong that's going on. So it's weird to like feel bad when I feel bad, because I'm like, well, I'm safe now, so why do I feel bad? Or
yeah, I get that.
Or like right now I'm very hyper aware of my pains, my aches, and everything like that, which I used to try to do no problem. I used to never really complain about my pain.
Yeah.
It was excruciating. Now it's just like, oh.
You just what's the word? Compartmentalize?
Yeah, compartmentalizing. I'm not compartmentalizing it anymore. So it's definitely interesting. And then what else? I'm also coming to the terms of like being autistic, and like it's like there's moments I'm like, I'm autistic, and then there's like you're fucking autistic. Where it's like reflecting back on my childhood and the shit that I would do, or having conversations about my parent who was very autistic but never diagnosed because it wasn't, in that time acceptable to be autistic, or it just wasn't. He didn't appear as autistic, and he operated fine in society, so he would never be deemed autistic.
I feel like anybody can really be diagnosed if, like a person asks one question. It's like, did you have any systems in place when you were a kid? Like with anything, laundry, dishes, exercise, school.
But also, there's this conversation, there's a discourse right now going on where there's some people that inherently like, well, everyone's a little autistic, and I'm like, no, No.
Yeah, no.
No. Yes, it is a spectrum. There, and also people are trying to claim that saying autism is a spectrum, like high functioning, low functioning spectrum. I'm like, no, that's not what the spectrum means. It means I am on one end of the spectrum and someone is on the other end of the spectrum. It has nothing to do with high or low functioning, which also is ridiculous as fuck. But it has to do with the fact that
it is not labelized by your ableist standardized means. It's our label.
Yeah, and being on the spectrum literally means what my deficiency is might not be what the person on the other side of the spectrum's deficiency is. They might exceed in that, or what I exceed in, the other person might absolutely have a deficiency in.
I like there's something new that came out recently. I wouldn't say recently, but it was just like something that someone created and put on Twitter, and it was a pie chart. And it was not really a pie chart, but instead of a spectrum, it was like a stat circle, basically. Like, imagine a character in an RPG game, and the autistic traits would make like a stat circle, and that makes more sense to me than the spectrum, to be honest, because it's like a spectrum is there's an extreme side to one end and there's an extreme side to the other end.
Of course.
But this like stat circle is very like, I have these traits and I have these traits, but I don't have these traits and these traits. So instead of it being I'm this severe or I'm this less severe, it's I have these traits. And I feel like I like that better.
Yeah, I like that a lot better. Like, these are the boxes that we're ticking off with me. Those are the boxes that you're ticking off with you, and that's that. But there's like very specific criteria that you have to meet being an autistic person. It isn't just like some quirk or some weird level of hyperfixation or some weird what's it called? I don't even know how to describe it, but it's there's that saying that everyone's a little autistic. No, you're really not, because if everyone was, then this would be so normalized, and this wouldn't be a debate about who deserves what kind of support and what kind of accommodations. This wouldn't even be a taboo topic. If everyone was a little bit autistic, there wouldn't be an issue on getting everyone accommodations that they need. In my opinion, if that was the case, then it wouldn't be as hush-hush taboo, and it wouldn't be as strenuous of a conversation to have with someone saying, hey, I'm autistic and these are what my needs are. Can you meet these needs? If not, why not? What can you do to compensate for that? Blah, 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 blah. It would be, not a problem. We can adjust to whatever your needs are, X, Y, Z, whether it be a job, whether it be a family member, whether it be schooling. It wouldn't be a question. Hi, hey Misfit, hey Ignited, what's it called? So we're not doing a panel, so this is a podcast. We typically have a a guest call, a roll call. We usually up to 2 live guests at a time. At max, we will only ever have 2 people involved in an episode, but it has to be well ahead of time. We also did not take a vote for this specific episode because we wanted to, we wanted to, decide for ourselves what we were going to return this series with. And then on top of it, we wanted to have control over what we talked about. And I feel like after the most recent conversation I had with a coworker about LGBT drama in IRL, and it's not even technically LGBT alphabet mafia drama, it's more so homophobia and internalized homophobia and that kind of stuff that's going on the internet right now. And I had a lovely conversation with my coworker about that. I said lovely loosely. It was very trying conversation.
It was tense. I feel like it was a tense conversation.
I didn't find it tense. It was just a very trying patience-wise. It was very easy for me to have that conversation because at the end of the day, there was nothing personal. It was just me trying to inform a colleague about what was incorrect in her beliefs, and it had nothing to do with like her believing that her child shouldn't think about being trans or anything like that at any point in time. It was more along the lines of like, I knew some of her beliefs were incorrect and I gave her the correct information
Right.
to adjust her belief or to double down. It was whatever happened in that moment was within her discretion, because once again, she's her own individual and she does not have to agree with everything. But backtracking a little bit, how the fuck are you, bitch?
Me?
You, bitch.
I don't know how to answer that question. I'm okay. I'm most days good.
Okay.
Anxiety's high.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I'm just stressing about my job. But besides that, I mean, it sucks that I'm a part. No, it doesn't suck that I'm a part of this podcast. It sucks that I can't speak freely on this podcast sometimes, because a lot of my problems are very personal and it has to do with family. And
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to handle, and not for nothing. Like, sometimes you just don't want to talk about your business on the internet with strangers.
Mm-hmm.
So much that you're.
I'm fine talking about like LGBT issues and like mental illness in general and everything, but it's hard to get a little personal, and I apologize for that.
Nah, you don't need to apologize for that whatsoever. That's what within your own comfort level. That's where your boundary begins. You're willing to communicate up until a point, and that's completely fine. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to air all my dirty laundry because I'm absolutely shameless, and I am
willing to say that 2 of my grandmothers are dying of cancer right now, so I'm just kind of dealing with that. And the repercussions of that, and the way that other family members are dealing with it as well.
Yeah, because that's not easy.
Yeah,
that's not easy at all. I had the privilege of meeting both of them.
Yeah, the privilege.
I had the privilege of meeting both of them. However,
one was
really love your dad's mom.
I do, yeah. Isn't she amazing?
She's an amazing little Scottish lass.
She is.
I love her. I think I've interacted with her twice, and I just was absolutely smitten with that little tiny Scottish lady. Mm-hmm. She's such a spitfire too. I love just quick with it too.
She is. She is.
I don't remember your cousin's name that was over there, but she vilified his ass.
I'm not too sure.
I don't know what, but it was something. He didn't do something, and she went off. I never knew I needed to hear a little Scottish lady, like, not cuss out their grandchild, but borderline cuss out their grandchild, and I'm just like,
she knows how to do it in a very like ambiguously Scottish way.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Where she's like insulting you, but she's kind of kind about it as well.
Yeah.
How
can you absolutely be so daft? Like you're saying you're an absolute dumbass, but it's like a gentle way of saying it.
Yeah.
Like, you son of a dummy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a gentle version of
very sweet.
But what's it called? You do panel sometimes. I do open panel within reason. Yeah, it's within reason, but because he and I are very antisocial creatures.
Oh yeah.
It is 110% like
we need like a lot of notification in advance.
Yes. 110% in advance. So it's like, yes, we do have a casting call per, I guess we do this bi-weekly, which I was thinking about eventually doing like an intermission of like a game rather than it be just back-to-back episodes or just 2 weeks in between podcasts. We can always do like podcast following Tuesday, have it be a game night, and then so on and so forth. So there's like a nice like mashup of stuff rather than it just be, okay, it's going to be a heavy ass podcast, it's going to be 2 weeks, and then a funny podcast, it's going to be 2 weeks heavy, and so on and so forth. So it's definitely different. We go off the rails with a conversation that sort of communities about what's it called? So that's what chaos tangents is. If we just add the use our ADHD and autism and just train off the tracks and goes wherever it goes. But yeah, sense of humor are definitely different, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's diverse. That's all that matters, and you guys are able to get along and enjoy each other. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Things. Heavy on anxiety. What's going on, Miss Bed, if I may ask? What's going on, mamas?
Yeah, tell us.
Then we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. We're gonna talk about all the gay shit, people.
Yes, I love it.
Heavy on the gay shit. Podcast seems difficult to plan, being that my mind shifts so much. Keeping on top of it would be tough. So,
You think we planned this?
Huh?
Do you think we put a lot of planning into this?
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Ooh, as I click off the wrong screen, Bobby. But no, so there isn't a lot of planning with this. So what we pretty much do, and I'll break it down a little bit for you guys. So I'll actually operate off my phone since I don't have to touch my laptop, and I want to see your beautiful faces some more. So bear with me. Let's see. So for Depresso Espresso, for one, we talk about depression, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar disorder, PTSD, OCD, self-care, unmasked, like real talk, like when we really want to get into the nitty-gritty of like what the fuck's going on and talk about the raw shit about mental health rather than the generic shit. Then we have chill and chat, where we just chill, we chat. I mean, that's pretty much chaos tangents at this point. And then we just added queer talk and relationships to the topic assortment. And I also just thought before we even went live, medication can also be a thing. But I feel like we can boil that down to each specific topic. Like there are meds for very, very specific things, all within the diaspora of topics that we've chosen. Now,
summer school is so fucking easy, Misfit. Trust me, I did it. It's like the easiest. It's like, what grade? What summer school? Like where? How? Why? When? so I know and have context. Because the summer school that I went to was the easiest shit ever.
She's doing summer school for college. She's trying to get extra credits and stuff like that.
I don't know about college, but
because
usually summer school is easier.
But yeah, so, and also autism is another thing that we're going to be adding to the topic. Diaspora. I don't know why that's my favorite word right now, but diaspora is my favorite word right now.
Oh, do you want to define it for the people who don't know? Me. That's me.
Diaspora? I will get the word diaspora definition. Woo! Diaspora is the dispersion or wait, what? I've been using this completely wrong.
Oh shit, we learn new things every day.
When I said diaspora, I meant like a menagerie, like a mix, like a group of things that are different. And diaspora is a population that is scattered across regions which are separate from the geographic place of origin. Historically, the word was used first in reference to the dispersion of Greeks in the Hellenic world and later Jews after the Babylonian exile. I didn't know that. But that makes so much fucking sense. Damn. And I thought it was being smart too. I felt like smarty pants. I was like, yeah, they're asking.
It's okay, it happens.
There are grown ass people that haven't corrected me.
I believe in you, Misfit. You got this. It took me a while to finish my school journey, so.
Oh yeah. Just download Duolingo, practice on the side, and then also like, I mean, online Spanish will be way easier than in class, because class, fuck that shit. I literally, out of spite. Also, that's another trait of autism, which I didn't really realize, is if I don't like something, I'm going to do the opposite of that out of spite. Or if someone tells me not to do something, I'm going to either do it out of spite or prove them wrong out of spite. But no, I literally took French for like 6.5 years just for the sake of absolutely abhorring fucking Spanish.
Wow.
Do you remember Mr. Manning?
Vaguely.
Yeah, Mr. Manning, and then there was one other Spanish teacher, and I was
Miss
like...
Gardner.
Miss Gardner?
Miss Gardner. She was middle school. Are you talking about high school or middle school?
Middle school.
Yeah, Miss Gardner.
What did she teach?
Spanish.
I don't think I ever interacted her with Spanish. Mr. Manning was the only one that I've interacted with. But like, I absolutely hated it because it was very exact. And I'm like, Mr. Manning, you were Spanish descent of some, like you were either freaking Southern American descent, Latino descent, Hispanic. It doesn't matter. Your language is Spanish, and you're teaching everyone fucking wrong. Why? Just teach people how you were raised. Like, I don't understand. I was so frustrated. I was so mad because like you would hear him on the phone taking personal calls, speaking like proper Spanish, and then he'd like butcher Spanish for the sake of teaching it properly.
I bet you anything. It was some stupid shit where he was teaching his kind of Spanish to the students, and management or the uppers were like, no, we want you to teach the curriculum Spanish.
You didn't teach American Spanish.
Yeah, I bet you anything. And he was like, well, fuck, I guess I gotta do this or I'm gonna lose my job. I bet you anything.
Maybe.
I would love to go back to school too.
I've been also on the fence about going back to school.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows? I don't know if I want to go back to school and actually finish my psychology degree and get that master's in psyche and be Dr. Chaos, or which would be
Dr. Chaos.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And then what's it called? Or just do business and communications and maybe some linguistics minor. But I don't know. I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm just coasting on by. I'm about to be 26 this year. I'm not really stressed about like anything. I would like to live my life.
Fair. I get it.
I want to live my life. That's where I'm at right now. But we're gonna actually dive into this. Let me pull the fucking screen.
While you do that, I'm going to
if I am going to put this here. I didn't realize the private chat was not like viewable to you, but maybe it's because you were not actually in that chat, like you weren't here in the actual what's it called?
What?
The stream thingy. I had posted it. You were in the broadcast room.
Right. That would make sense. All right, BRB.
Yeah, no, do your thing. He's probably gonna pee. Baby, I love you, but you don't need a culinary degree. Engineering would be interesting. Okay, that would be very interesting. I could see you doing that, baby. But you don't need a culinary degree. You work in culinary already. You're in the door. You wouldn't need a culinary degree. And also, not for nothing, you can talk to Dave Sudol, who's amazing. He will 110% tell you to not bother going to culinary school because you don't need to go to culinary school. There's nothing that you would ever need from culinary school that you couldn't learn already at your job. And also, like, you'd be getting paid to learn rather than you paying to learn. You know what I mean, baby? So talk to Sudol, because Sudol would easily tell you that the $35,000 it would cost you to go to culinary wouldn't be worth it. I'll keep buying you all the culinary books, though. I'll keep buying you all the culinary books. You gonna learn today at home.
I want to do 3D software. That's what I want to do.
Cool.
I want to learn how to do and make models for video games in different 3D softwares, including Blender and so yes, the only one I know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I want to do because I have a little 3D thing on my computer, on my laptop, where I can fuck around and make like little shitty models, but it's nothing as extensive as some of the paid programs.
Yeah.
And if I go to school, I can learn how to use some of those paid programs. So yeah,
I think that would be good.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Let's see here. Let me just put that on low power mode. Are you ready to dive into the gay shit?
Yeah, I'm still munching. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Munch away, bro.
Cool.
What's it called? So pretty much we're going to break it down as simply put as possible. If anyone has questions, please ask them. If anyone is apprehensive about asking a question, don't be. You are safe here. We will let you know if that needs to be adjusted when asking a question, or we'll just straight up answer it for you. Like, It's not a big deal when it comes to this. That being said, we're gonna break down into what LGBT plus means. I'm not going to get into the other letters. It's fucking a lot. And
it's a lot.
It's a lot. And I also want to clarify, any of the A's in the LGBT alphabet mafia does not mean ally.
Ally does not mean
not in the LGBT mafia. Ally is someone who supports the LGBT mafia.
Does not mean you are a part of the community.
Correct.
We appreciate your presence, but still not a part of the mafia.
There are people that will try to die on the hill, like, oh, one of the A's in LGBTQIA or whatever that fuck it is, will literally be like, oh, it's ally. No, the fuck it's not. One of them's asexual, and I can't remember what the fuck the other one is, but
intersex.
It's not that. So,
it's not that.
Going. So, LGBT, it literally means lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. So the first three, LGB, technically, LGB, sexual orientation. However, the T alone is gender identity. And it's literally just an umbrella term at this point for anyone who does not identify as cisgender. And then same thing for what's it called? The LG and B. They're anyone who does not identify as straight, heterosexual. So the big thing here is you need to know the separation between sexual and gender identity. Like it's very, very clear. And I got everyone a definition. We're gonna go down to the basics, folks. Straight down to the basics.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Bisexual, but not a big fan of the praise. Hey. Pride are for the people that want to be loud about it. Not everyone has to be loud about it. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Happily be bi, live your best life without being what's it called? Being present in the parades. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Live the life the way you are and as you should. Let's see. Still have a hard time with accepting myself being a part of the community. Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't like when people label me, and maybe that is something to do with the type of self-hate or something. I mean, not for nothing. There is some level that and it also depends on where you're raised and the community you're raised in. It depends on the household you're raised in. There can be some internalized homophobia at some point in your life from wherever you grew up or whoever you grew up with, or whether it be your parents had something low key, or let's say you go to church and something in the church was homophobic, and it wasn't very outwardly homophobic, but it was just enough to kind of poison the water and make it normal in your eyes. So yeah, you don't need to introduce yourself like that. There's not really a correct way to do it. The only time it's really pertinent is like if you're talking about like
the topic comes up.
Yeah, if it comes up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, hi, I'm Aiden, I'm transgender.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, hi, I'm Aiden, and if they ask, then I'd be like, yeah, I'm trans.
Yeah. But yeah, no one would outwardly say that, in my opinion. It's literally dependent on the conversation. So like, let's say you're having a conversation about partners, and you go into about how you date this girl, and someone's like, oh, you're a lesbian? You're like, no, I'm bisexual. And that would be it. That's it. That's the whole conversation. You don't really deeper with it. I never really understood the heterosexual obsession with people and what they do with people that aren't heterosexual. It's very weird to me.
I don't know.
It's also very weird how cis people are very obsessed about trans people. Like, the obsession is fucking weird. It's fucking weird.
It really is. They really want to know what's in our pants, like we're some random enigma. It's like, it's not that big.
Uncomfortable. Do you have a penis or a vagina? Like, why is that important?
Why is it important? What if I have both? What if I have none? Exactly. Like, why is it important?
I feel like you should just turn the tables and the only response is, what do you have in your pants?
Yeah.
Because usually the only correct response is immediate discomfort, because why are you asking?
Yeah, why don't you drop your pants and let me see your dick, huh?
Yeah.
like, do you like how that feels?
Yeah, no, absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
No, I feel like for those who, and I mean, the labels are for people that, you know, that really need the label, you know, it's not for everyone. I'm not really the type of person like, yeah, I'm pan. I mean, if anyone like dilutes it down, most people will be like, oh, so you're bisexual. I'm like, no, because there's like, you know, there's more than that, and I just don't give a shit. Like, I just don't care. I don't care. Venom could come up to me like, hey babe, and I'll be like, hey, Venom,
yeah.
It's just one of those things. I just don't care. If you have a great personality, if you're delicious on the outside, then by all means, I'm gonna hop your bones. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what rappers around the damn lollipop. I want to lick the fucking lollipop, you know?
That is a great analogy.
Family, don't know, only teachers are art friends. Yeah, no, it's only when you're comfortable. I think I just felt a little more comfortable.
I think I first told my, I mean, she wasn't the first one, but I told my English teacher, Miss Raymond, I believe. Mm-hmm. She was one of the first ones that I told. Yeah, she was pretty chill.
And then I was just waiting for my best friend to fucking come out to me. I was just waiting. He was very open about being gay. He was very open about like loving men, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
The best way to describe it, especially before he came out to me as trans and before he even started his transition, my favorite thing is the way he talked about men was more of like a man talking about a man rather than a female talking about a man. There was just homosexual vibes were already there. And on top of it, like, there was no feminine aura about you at all. There was nothing feminine. The only quote-unquote feminine thing, and that's societal standards, is literally when you had long hair. And that
that's it.
He had this, like, he could have been this fucking Fabio.
And then 90% of the time, I would just put it in a ponytail or straighten it, because that was the easiest thing to do. At some point, I just cut it all off, so.
He could have been like full-on Fabio and then like fucking fan into space on a
Yeah, but it was my hair that gave me dysphoria, so if I had those luscious locks, it probably wouldn't do me any good.
No, not at all. So, but no, I was really happy when he finally cut his hair. That was like the best thing ever. But
I was not. I mean, I was, but I ended up getting like a Bieber cut, and it was horrible.
Yeah, it was a terrible haircut, but like, once again, everyone has to go through the most tragic haircut ever.
100%. Every trans person has like their haircut phases where it's like the Bieber cut, and then you want a mullet, and then you get a pixie cut at some point. It's not great.
Yeah. But no, like typically like for the longest time, long-haired men were treated like significantly differently unless they were some type of icon.
Yeah.
So like Fabio himself was an icon, and then there was a couple other men.
There were always jokes back then of like long-haired guys being feminine and gay, and I don't know. And it would always be like, oh, there's a beautiful, like, it would be the back of a man. It would be like, oh, there's a beautiful woman. Let me grab her shoulder. And then suddenly he turns around.
Yeah, exactly.
With a beard and luscious locks. So yeah, they've always been feminized.
Yeah. Also, Jason Momoa is beautiful. Oh
yeah,
my God.
Well, yes, absolutely.
He put on some pounds for,
Did he?
What's it called? For Fast and Furious 10.
Oh.
Looking like a motherfucker. I didn't know I needed a chunky version of Jason Momoa in my life, but
everybody needs a husky man in their life.
Jason Momoa husky? Oh my God. And he was in lavender all the damn time.
That's awesome.
He said the reason why he wore lavender. Have a wonderful night, Misfit. And also, I can't wait to figure out what movie you watch with your brother. But no, the reason why he wore lavender and fought to be in a bright purple and lilac, what's it called? And lilac and peony colored clothes and fucking vehicles and baskets was because the fact that his mother hated those two colors.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So he used those to spite his mother.
Yes.
Is his mother mean, or do they just have that sort of relationship?
I think he was just being an annoying chicken.
I love that.
and I'm just like, live your best life, Jason Momoa. And I'm like, this is why we love Jason Momoa. And he's
that's
such a
awesome.
gentle soul too. But what's it called? Now I'm gonna break down two of the main things that people always, or technically three things. No, two things. I'm gonna break it down further. So, sex is genetic, physical body characteristics people are born with, labeled male or female. The XY chromosome, the XX chromosome. However, it gets broken down even more than that. Just so we all know, it gets broken down way more than that. Nature is a beautiful thing. Science is a beautiful thing. Just because here in the human chromosomes that X, Y, and XX mean respectively male and female, it's can be whittled down even more with different species, which is awesome. Then gender is a social and cultural expression of sex, is not the biological sex people are born with. Then people who are intersex are people who are born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that does not fit typical definitions of male or female, or they might have both. Then, I don't know why I'm so damn burpy. Then you have sexual orientation, which is romantic, emotional, and or sexual attraction to other people. Sexual orientation and gender identity are two different fucking things. Two different things. And people keep intermixing that all the damn time. I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Just because someone is trans doesn't mean that they're gay and vice versa. Like there's so many different things. Like there's so many different things. Then you have gender.
Here's a comment that people often get wrong. A lot of bigots usually bring this up, is that being trans and everything, or gay or whatever, is not a mental illness. We are not delusional. Like, I can say with 100% certainty that my sex is female because I have female and feminine reproductive organs. That's what I was born with. My gender is male. We are not delusional, you dumbasses. I'm not talking to chat. I'm talking to the bigots of the world. We're educated. You are not.
Yeah. And not for nothing, I figured it out pretty quickly too, because there was like literally nothing feminine about you. Nothing at all. Like, you gave off, that's my buddy, that's my dude right over there. Like, there was nothing like, oh, that's my friend so and so. Nothing. It's like, nah, that's my bro Aiden. And that was that. I didn't question it. And also, not for nothing, he never went by his full birth name. He went by a shortened version of it, a very neutral version of his birth name. And I was just like, this bitch, you ain't because I didn't know the word for it and he didn't know the word for it. But I was like, whatever, my best friend is just, finding himself. I know that he's not happy, but he's finding himself somehow, and then he's like discovering what the word is, and then comes to me, and I'm like, oh yeah. I forget what my
I don't remember what your reaction was, but I remember the way that I described it was that, like, I wanted to be in a relationship with a gay man, but not as a woman, as a man, because it was I was watching all these videos of like these beautiful like homosexual relationships and like these thriving gay relationships and everything, and I was just like feeling this want and this need in my heart, and I'm like, I want that, but not as I am right now. This feels wrong, and I don't know why. I don't know what the word is, but it's just like, I can't have that until I've done something else.
Of course. And eventually you found the word, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I figured that out pretty quickly. And I was like here for you, the 110%. I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it, bro.
Hell yeah.
I was the most aggressive person to be supporting.
Hey, I needed that at the time. I needed that because I certainly wasn't advocating for myself.
Yeah, I remember anytime if we would go out to lunch or dinner and stuff, and he'd get misgendered, and this was pre-T, so there was no voice change, nothing like that. It was just haircut. He could have been like a little tiny lesbian meatball. Like, no one would have known.
Exactly. I don't know if I still do. Maybe.
No.
I don't know, with a beard.
it also doesn't help that me dressing like the butch bitch that I have been for years and years, you were just kind of like guilty by association, a lesbian and meatball.
It was definitely like I looked like a tiny little baby butch.
Yeah.
100%.
Literally it. I think that was literally it because it was guilty by association.
It still happens. If I get rid of my facial hair, if I lose the shadow, I turn into a lesbian. But that's okay. I'm fine with that at this point. Yeah. I've accepted that.
You've grown significantly, whereas like before it would be like end of the fucking world when you didn't have that factor.
Bro, I almost didn't take the Stu Leonard's job because I didn't. They were like,
no, you were like having a fucking crisis of the fact that you would like, get rid of your facial hair.
I had to shave and I hated it. And like I had so much fucking dysphoria from it.
I am so proud of you.
Yeah, but eventually they lifted the rules and everything, so.
Which is good. Which is very, very good. But now, like that was something, so when we went to go like lunch or dinner and someone would like be like, "Hi mates, how we doing?" And then and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, all right, it's gonna be like that." And then I would be the one that would take it personally, right?
Yeah.
And then of course we get to when it's time to order, and I'd make sure I knew what he was ordering, so I'd order it for him. So I'd order first, and I'd be like, "And he's having."
Yep.
And he's gonna do this, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, hon, what did you say you wanted? Oh yeah, so he's gonna do." Like, I was very aggressive with his pronouns.
Yeah, there was a few times where she would already do the like implications of he and everything, and then the waitress or the waiter would still misgender me when they were referring to me. Like I don't remember a specific moment, but there was one time where you had already did that. Like ordered for me, and then he turned to me and was like, "All right, what would you like to drink, ma'am?" And I'm like, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah, no, that was like, oh, I was ready to commit murder for this boy. I'm like, did you not hear the words that came out of my fucking mouth?
And I'm still astounded to this. I'm still astounded that I get misgendered even with the amount of facial hair that I have. I know I'm not the most masculine man, but most women don't grow this much facial hair.
No.
So it's like I don't look conventionally female anymore, and I don't look conventionally male. But it still weirds me out when people are like, "Yes, ma'am," when they're looking straight at this face that has a shadow and facial hair.
Yeah, no, it's very weird for me too, and I'm just like, okay, but like, not for nothing, no one's gonna. If you go into the men's room, no one's gonna question you twice.
No, not at all.
And also, guys don't give a shit. They just want to get in the fuck out. Why is it? I feel like it's not men that's crying about it. I mean, there are some bigoted men out there that are like, "Oh, fuck these transgenders and all that shit."
Yeah.
Can I just say, when
what?
I can't even say it because it just hits different. It's when people are getting really, really mad about anything to do with LGBT and specifically trans folk just trying to exist, and they
give you the lead stare.
I just no. It's when they're like referring to trans people and they just go, "All these damn transgenders," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. I have a couple family members that do that, but they do it like completely innocently.
Or like anything they say after that, I would never be able to like take them seriously in an argument at all. I'm like, no, you disqualified yourself by saying that, and considering they like repeat themselves, like all these damn transgenders doing transgender and shit, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever experienced in my life because y'all sound so dumb. But no, and then also the people say, oh, you know, they're transgendering. And go, what are they doing?
What is it? What's going on? Transgendering?
Transgendering. People use that word. I'm like,
what does that mean?
You know how the transitioning?
There you go.
Transgendering thing. I go, transitioning. Yeah, the transgendering. Transitioning.
Unbelievable.
Changing. They're changing. They're transitioning. They're changing.
Megan.
You're welcome.
Didn't want people to see me, but I guess hearing me is fine. Forgot to mute myself.
family doesn't age till they hit 60, so I look 15. I'm actually 20. But when I grow facial hair, I look older and more masculine. All right, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's what I'm going for.
I look old as shit. I have a little mustache that fades in a little bit. I'm very hyper aware of it too. But it's like, all right, I'll take a little thing to my peak fuzz, and it'll go like, I have a little mini, like, right under the center of my lip right here.
Oh, yeah.
Little small fucking patch that grows in. I'll have to show, when it grows in, I'll have to show it to you.
Definitely.
I'll fill it in with some brow pencil.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
But, no, what's it called? So to break it down even further, just because we're getting off track, as we do. So you have lesbians and gays, which lesbian, respectively, are females who are sexually, romantically, emotionally attracted to females, and then you have gays, men, who are romantically, emotionally, sexually attracted to men. And then bisexuals, we don't give a shit. Actually, technically, let me correct myself. Bisexuals are restricted to male and females, whereas pansexuals just don't give a shit. Let me be very clear, because there are some people that will die on that hill and be like, oh, I'm bi, I don't like trans. And I go, why? What disqualifies them? What disqualifies them?
Yeah.
What disqualifies them?
You know, I've actually heard some people say, this isn't connected to trans, I've heard some people say that bisexual and pansexual is completely interchangeable at this point. It truly depends on preference. But I'm not too sure about that because I'm not.
Give a shit about the label.
Yeah, to be honest, it truly just
doesn't
depends.
Matter. Like, live your life, be your true self 100% of the time, and that be it. The labels. I mean, don't get me wrong. You, as a trans man, have earned your label. You fought to get where you are. You're going to continue to fight through the rest of your transition. You earned that label. It's more along the lines of like, who gives a shit if someone's a lesbian, gay, bisexual? Like, it's not a big deal. Let love be fucking love and mind your damn business.
Absolutely.
It ain't your problem.
Yeah, I don't understand why people have to get out of their lanes, really. Like, literally, this world would be a better place if everybody just minded their own business. And that's it, period.
Like, literally, all we have to literally do is agree to disagree without doing any harm.
Absolutely. You don't have to understand another person's belief. You don't have to be a part of their belief. All you have to do is be like, all right, we don't agree, we don't have the same belief, I'm gonna be on my way, you're gonna be on yours. That's that. Mm-hmm. And you live your life.
And that's what I said to my coworker when we had that conversation, because she made it very, very clear that she would not have it if her son, and of course I brought it up as a hypothetical thing because she's like, it's child abuse, you transition a child, this and the third. I go, no, it's not. It's really not. It's called supporting your loved one, and quote unquote, the transitioning that you're thinking of isn't anything that happens to a child.
Yeah.
They're given hormone blockers so they don't hit puberty, so they don't have to go through this obscenely dysphoric experience that has nothing to do with their gender identity. And then on top of it, they're given clothes and hairstyles that they prefer. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all it. And give them
we would never force a child to medically change and alter their body when we know ourselves that they are still developing and they need the time to figure themselves out. Yes. People are just misinformed and ignorant. Once again, it comes down to ignorance.
And not for nothing, most people are going off of media and not listening to trans
and fear mongering and shit like that.
It's the same thing with like listening to everything on the media, like with Roe v. Wade. We're going to talk about this for a hot second. With everything that has gone on and me losing rights as a female, I mean, thankfully in the state that I live in, Connecticut, my rights.
We are a safe haven right now, yeah.
State, thank fucking God. However, other states not so much. In Indiana, a woman is on trial and possibly losing her medical license because she just performed an abortion on a 10-year-old rape victim. A 10-year-old rape victim. 10-year-old.
And they're going to take her license away.
They're going to take her license away for it because Indiana is not, it's not legal. And she just prevented this poor child, a child, not a woman, because a lot of lawmakers love to refer to anyone with the female reproductive system as women rather than a fucking girl, a child. And a child was spared from having to possibly go through something that would kill her because her body's not developed for that.
Yeah.
It's not developed for childbirth. It's not developed for carrying a baby to term.
And that happens way too often. People don't realize, but that happens way too often.
Yes,
it's common.
And the sad part is people also don't realize, well, obviously she must be a young woman because she must have menstruated. I'm like, no, 10-year-olds can still get pregnant because they have a vagina and they have everything else that I, as a grown 26-year-old woman, does. However, most people don't realize we as females have every egg that we're ever going to pass in our lifetime is in our ovaries. That still does not stop the sperm from making its fucking way where it needs to go and getting a female pregnant. Regardless if a girl has menstruated or not, it does not matter.
Puberty usually begins in girls between 8 and 13. An 8-year-old girl, an 8-year-old child can get their period.
That's fucking.
Do you really think that is a woman? Do you really think that is a person that can take care of a child? No.
No,
absolutely not.
The doctor did what she was supposed to do, is take care of that young girl, that child that came in, that poor child that's already been traumatized by God knows who, probably a family member, because that's how it happens. 99.9% of the time it's groomed by a family member. And then on top of it, speaking of children and being groomed, they want to remove certain books. They want to remove certain lectures and teachings from classrooms. They want to get rid of sexual education.
They literally want to groom our kids into their perfect little, I don't know, puppets.
And then on top of it, like, the reason why there's so much child grooming and so many cases within families about molestation and everything like that is because kids aren't taught what their body parts are properly, and then when it comes to an adult touching them, they don't know how to communicate that an adult touched them, and an adult who has groomed them and is close to them will say, oh, we're going to do this, and they make it seem playful and harmless, and they
let me say something.
Like, kids should know their body parts.
You're about to say it, yeah.
So then in the chance that an adult does this, they know, hey, that's wrong, no one's supposed to touch me there. This is my no-no square.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be it shouldn't be something as simple as no-no square. It should be something as straightforward as, hey, Uncle so-and-so touched me on my pee-pee. That should be it. It shouldn't be all these stupid, like, soft little words. It should be something as simple as, hey, this happened to me.
And actually teaching your child all the scientific words of their body parts and everything, it actually deters predators. Like it because they've done research where predators prefer all those cutesy little terms for body parts. So it infantilizes them, and it makes them seem more desirable to the predators, and that's fucking disgusting. So teach your children the proper scientific words for their body parts.
Oh, speaking of that, did you hear the most recent controversy? We're getting a little bit on topic. Predators would like to be included in the LGBT community.
Oh, yes.
They would like to be identified as MAPs, minor attracted persons. And I say, anyone that decides to approach me as a MAP will no longer be found on
Expect a fist in the face, a knife in the throat. This is a threat. I can be arrested for this, but
no, pigs.
But yeah,
somebody. I don't care. I don't care. There's no reason that is a thing, and there's so many people that are backing that. No, you should really no, because the majority of these people have traumatized children and ruined people's lives into their adulthood because of stuff like this. So no, I will not be giving them the respect they deserve. They don't deserve any respect. They harm and touch children inappropriately, and they ruin people's lives. They do not have any rights in retrospect in my eyes. And if that makes me a shitty person in someone's eyes, well, you got your comeuppance, because that's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, if you think we're shitty people for wanting pedophiles to suffer and die, then you might need to check yourself and your priorities.
I mean, not for nothing, most pedophiles don't survive in prison because a lot of the inmates will kill them.
And they'll actually rape them and then kill them. Like, they'll want them to feel what their victims felt.
Exactly. Rapists, pedophiles do not get very far in prison.
Nope.
And that is a beautiful thing. But yeah, we're gonna keep going, you guys, because this is getting off topic, but it's very, very valid. Also, another thing having to do with gender identity. Cisgender is a scientific word that exists in the dictionary. It's been around for years. It literally just means someone whose gender identity and expression is identical to what they were born as. So
say you were born and the doctor slapped your butt and said male, and you were like, yep, I'm male all my life, that's cisgender, right? Yeah. Same with female. But if you were slapped on the butt when you were a baby and they're like, yep, this is male, and then later down the line you're like, no, I'm not male, I'm female, that's transgender.
Yep. Easy. Yep. It's that simple.
It's that simple.
Wow.
So easy.
Wow.
And people really make a big deal out of it, like it's some unknown thing.
Or like drag, like they're trying to ban drag, and I'm like, why? They never.
Drag is something like it. I wouldn't say it's completely different, but it's a whole different culture in and of itself.
It's a different culture in itself, but would it fall under the gender binary? Because it's most of the time it's we see from what I've been raised as, I've seen mostly men dressing up as women.
But that's the thing, is that they follow that binary. They don't diverge from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, would that technically be something along the lines of trans, because their gender expression in that moment in time is female?
I'm not too sure because I can't speak for drag queens at all because I don't identify with them whatsoever. But I truly 100% respect them. I have heard drag queens say that they never identify as female. Like, they know they are male the entire time, even through the act. So, and that's what they say, that's an act, that it's a performance.
Okay.
So I don't think.
I might have to ask them.
Yeah, I don't think that they identify as their characters. Because I know, like, the drag character is a character, and then there's like the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't truly speak on all of that because I don't attend drag. I don't do anything. I don't even like watch stuff or consume content for it. So
I love watching RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm not gonna lie, it is.
And you have for quite a while too.
Fun. It's fun. And then I also liked watching Pose because that kind of gave me an insight on ballroom. And I never realized like how intricate ballroom was. And after I watched Pose, which had to do with a lot of people finding their identity. It was the 80s, I believe, 70s, 80s. Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, like, trans people were still around, gay people were still around. They just weren't as outwardly about it because they weren't safe enough to do so up until like Stonewall. Then they became more and more outward about it, which is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing, like, the LGBT community has existed for years and years and years and years. Yeah,
we must remember that the LGBT community has not always been silent. No. We have been celebrated before.
Yes.
It wasn't until the New World and shit. Yeah.
Where not only were the Jews rounded up, but homosexuals were marked as well. And that's where, and I forget, it was a pink triangle or something happened.
It was a pink triangle, yeah.
And then that also was the reason why blue and pink were assigned their quote-unquote gender norms in society. Blue was assigned to boys and pink was assigned to females in regards to not only the homophobia within the Third Reich from World War II, but there was other things on top of that. So they figured, well, if pink meant effeminate man, like homosexuals, then we're just gonna make sure that females are represented as pink and males are represented as blue and have.
Despite how it used to be, where males used to wear pink. Yeah, males used to wear pink because it was like a strong, bright color, and it was seen as a masculine color.
Yeah, and also women didn't have restrictive colors; they could wear whatever they wanted.
Yeah,
it blows my mind like how much history will warp society as it goes on. But what's it called? Yeah, no, like, and also not for nothing, the LGBT community is quote unquote like everyone's fucking gay now, everyone's trans out. No, everyone's more open about it, more safe to talk about it. And if you look at the charts of people who are talking about it, people who are existing, people who are outwardly trans, gay, and so on and so forth, the graph will show you that it peaks and then plateaus. Which means everyone that wanted to come out in this set amount of time is out. They're out and they're proud, and no one else really was in the mood to come out. That's pretty much it. Literally, like, started like here, exponentially grew in a pretty normal rate.
Well, wasn't it?
And then plateaued.
Like,
this is a beautiful thing.
It wasn't until recently that well, I wouldn't say that. There was such a short amount of time where people started to feel comfortable coming out.
Yes.
And people started to feel comfortable, like, being gay and being themselves in public. And then suddenly, yeah, and then now it's like this whole trans thing is happening, and there's a lot of bills against homosexual people and homosexuality in general, and transgender people. So it's like, we were getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Things were happening.
And that's why it plateaued. Because now everyone that's felt comfortable enough to come out, they're out, and now we're at a point where no one else wants to come out. So
yeah, because we're fucking scared.
We've been seen, we're known about, but everyone else that sees what's happening now doesn't feel comfortable about being out there. But then you had the generation after us, Gen Z or X or whatever the fuck it is, where everyone's out about everything. So we won't really know until we see that trend again. But also there was a parallel trend. You want to know what trend it was that parallel to the LGBT community?
What?
That spikes and plateaued like that? Left-handed people.
What?
Left-handed people.
Really?
Because the church and the schools would beat the shit out of people for being left-handed. And they would, yeah.
What?
Left-handedness was like this demonic shit, and I forget what other thing about it was. I didn't read enough into it, but I know those two, and I remember the two graphs that were shown. They were literally almost identical, except the time periods were different. Mm-hmm. So like, there's a point where left-handed people just didn't fucking exist, and it was literally because they were calling the herd and making sure that anyone that was left-handed was taught to write right-handed, and they got rid of that. Then there was a point where it just randomly stopped fucking mattering, and I don't know why it stopped mattering, but it stopped mattering for some point.
I think there was still a superstition connected to it.
Of course, because there's some. Do you know how many boomers I meet that are like, oh my god, you're left-handed? I'm left-handed. I haven't met anyone that's left-handed. And I go, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's just like, I don't see the big deal about it, but apparently, like, and I asked them that, I'm like, what's the big deal? She goes, oh, I got punished as a kid for a couple of years for being left-handed, and
that's crazy.
My parents and grandparents were forced to write with their right hands growing up, and it slowly but surely like started getting phased out of schools and everything. I was like, that's so fucking weird, but it explains why all the desks and shit in schools are right fucking handed.
Yeah.
Because
there's no left-handed desks.
Write on those damn desks. I'd never be able to write on them. I'd have to like turn in my seat and like fucking angle shit so I could just get comfortable.
I remember.
Oh my god, I was like the one, like a handful of people, maybe like 3 other kids in our class at a time.
I love those desks.
Sitting crooked in our freaking seats just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's just so much. There's so much in regards to the LGBT community.
There's always been oppression there, so I'm not surprised. There's always been oppression, so I'm not surprised.
Of course. And then I don't know if you know anything about Two-Spirit, but apparently it has to do with anyone who's indigenous and non-Western who expresses their gender and or sexual orientation that is not to the norm.
Right.
And then there's like a different form of like LGBT plus in like a native and indigenous context, completely different to what we consider the LGBT community. And I kind of want to do a little bit more research into it because I find it very interesting because there's not enough on it. Like I only recently started hearing about what Two-Spirit is, and there's just such few moments where people will actually talk about it or feel comfortable enough to talk about it. So it's definitely refreshing because I'd love to know more.
Before, I thought, like, my initial assumption of Two-Spirit was that, it was just a word for transgender for the indigenous people. Apparently, I think there's a lot more nuances than that. Yeah.
Which I didn't realize. I literally thought it was also transgender because Two-Spirit, like...
Well, because the Two-Spirit were supposedly, like, they were healers and they were shamans and they were, like high-ranking figures. So, you know, like, the people in the community sought out these Two-Spirit individuals. And that's just what I've heard. Remember, take everything I say with a grain of salt, people. I'm spewing from memories, not facts or known things. Just from what I remember.
Nothing? That's more than I know. Okay, let's see. What other information can I hunt down? I mean, does anyone have questions? That's the big thing. Like, what can I answer in regards to the LGBTQ community? Of course, on my end, whether it be pansexual, bisexual, lesbian, yada. I can't really talk on anything else because, once again, I'm not trans. I mean, I can speak on what androgyny is because I've had my fair share of moments where no one could figure out what the fuck I was, and that was like the best power move of my life. Because
it is a power trip when someone's like, "What are you?" Like, wouldn't you like to know?
Wouldn't you like to know? Something fucking magical.
What's up, Burger?
Hey, Burger. How are you doing?
How are you doing? Have you been good?
And then also, not for nothing, there's a huge difference between androgyny and non-binary. So, like, non-binary people identify as in, like, separate gender, technically, or not anything at all.
It's just, non-binary is just you don't follow the gender binary, so that's also a spectrum.
Yeah. And it can be like, because there's non-binary femmes, non-binary masc, and there's like, and then it goes even deeper.
Yeah.
And they just don't have pronouns that exist within the normal gender spectrum, whether it be his, hers.
Yeah, that resonate with them.
And so on and so forth. It's usually they, them, theirs, and then the neo-pronouns, which I know nothing about. I
just know that neo-pronouns are something that people vibe with, and all you gotta do is stay in your lane and accept it. That's all. Everybody just, if somebody comes up to you and says, "Yeah, my pronouns are Z, Zem, Zer," like, all right, Z. Wait, that's not their name. Fuck, I fucked it up already. See, I try my best, but it's hard.
Yeah, and not for nothing, you tried, and that's what matters. I feel like that's
exactly.
What is that people actively try and people are willing to understand. Whereas, like, I don't care about that. Okay, cool. Then it is all right, fine. That's your shit. Goodbye. I'm gonna go this way. You go that way, and that's it. That's all it's gotta be.
Unless you guys are friends. If you guys are friends, then probably be considerate of your friends' pronouns and maybe not go separate ways. 100%. I don't think that would work.
110%. And then, like, androgyny, which is where I fall because I just don't give a shit, is the possession of both masculine and feminine characteristics, and it's expressed with regard to sex, gender identity, or expression in itself. It's a lot of gray area for some people. I feel like most people will hear non-binary and hear androgyny and be like, "Oh, so you're a man that's not a man, or a woman that's not a woman, but you're not either or." And I'm like, "You're getting there. You're kind of getting there.
Mm-hmm.
We're just blended. We're right in the middle. We're right in the fucking middle."
It's whatever you feel like that day.
Oh, housewarming party. Okay. It's like a congratulatory party, like when you move and you have your own home. People are like, oh, let's celebrate you getting a house, blah 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 blah. And then sometimes people bring gifts for the house and so on and so forth. I opted to have one, and then I remembered I'd have to have people in my house, and I said, fuck that shit. If anyone wants to give me anything like Tupperware and other necessities for the house, specifically Tupperware, I still haven't found Tupperware that I love yet, and I'm really pissed off about it.
Burger, ask about the house. When people move to a new place, they're excited to talk about their new place. Yeah. So ask questions about the house if you don't know what to do.
Definitely ask about the house. 110%. I can support that idea. I support it 110% as someone who loves it when people ask how's the couch, because I love talking about the couch.
Yeah. 100%.
But no, what's it called? I mean, just being supportive, being present, and also just being like, hey, yeah, you have a home now. Like, way to fucking go.
Yeah, there was a few days where when I moved in, I just kind of acknowledged with you, like, holy shit, we live together.
Yeah.
It's okay to just acknowledge stuff as well.
Oh yeah, it's a process. It's a huge process. It's a huge life change too.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that I can kind of be on this side of the house and be like, hooty hoo, and then he be on the other side.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
nice.
Most of the time I'm like, huh? What'd you say? I can't hear you. Chocolate? You're selling what?
Chocolate. But no, and it's funny too, because I still laugh to this day, because when we were in high school, even when we weren't even long-term friends at this point, when we were still in high school when we met, we're like, we're gonna live together. We're gonna live together. And then life fucking hit us. Life fucking hit us hard. I graduated. He went on his way. I went my way. And then life got fucking rough.
Yeah.
And we never saw each other. Like, that wasn't even an idea in our heads anymore. That was a fucking pipe dream, because life happened and we're adults now.
I mean, we never lost contacts.
No, we never lost. Yeah, no, we never
lost contact.
That happened. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there was just a stretch of time where we didn't see each other, like, physically.
Yeah.
But even then, there would still be like a rare occasion where we would like meet up or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, not for nothing, like, it's just very funny, because like, despite all that shit going on, we somehow still managed to circle all the way back and come together and become roommates.
Yep, and become roommates.
But no,
yeah, it's still kind of surreal that this has happened, but hey.
But it's the little kid in me, the very, very angry little kid in me, is very happy now, and it's definitely been healing. It's without a doubt been healing. As weird as that sounds, like there's so much to unpack when it comes to me and my childhood, but I can leave it as like the inner child in me is very, very hurt, is very, very traumatized, very neglected. It doesn't know what to do emotionally. But I will say, like, me streaming, very healing for me, because that was something that I always wanted to do as a teenager. I was like, oh, I want to be like XYZ creator, this, that, and the third. And it was just an idea. It was never something that I ever thought I'd be able to do.
It didn't feel obtainable.
It feels obtainable, but it just feels so, like, I just want to do it. I don't give a shit if I'm ever successful on YouTube. I don't give a shit. Just the fact that I'm able to do this.
No, I'm talking about when you were a kid. Did it feel unobtainable?
Oh, 110%. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel real. It really felt like a pipe dream. And it was just the point where, like, now, like, wow, I'm fucking doing this, and it just feels so good. Like, I feel so warm inside every single time I'm live. And don't get me wrong, it does break my heart when I have technological issues and everything like that. Because, like, now that little kid that was looking forward to streaming and going live and playing the video game that I love and sharing what I love with you guys, it hurts a little bit. But I don't know what it is. Like, I don't think I could ever stop streaming. I don't think I could ever stop. Like, this is something that makes me so happy, and I actually have a healthy relationship with it now compared to before. Yeah. And then and also like living with my best friend. This is very, very healing for me, and it's weird. It's like, I don't know.
I know exactly why it's healing. Wow. I can tell you exactly why it's because because I'm on the internet. because very often we would not be allowed to be together. So now we can wake up to one another. Now we can literally be like, we're having a sleepover every day.
Yeah. If I want to climb into his bed because I miss him, I can climb into his bed because I miss him.
You can give me a good old knock on my door. I'll be like, half asleep, and then you'll be like, can I come in? I'll be like, and I'll scoot over.
Just put me on the wall. I got you.
On the wall?
Yeah, remember? That's how it would be. You'd be on the edge, and I'd be up against.
Oh, right. I get you.
Yeah.
For some reason, I envisioned like taping you to the wall for some reason. But then again, I've watched Unis Honest, and that's a part of it. Fair enough.
I mean, there's plenty of instances in shows and stuff where someone's gotten taped to the fucking wall or the ceiling. So, like,
true.
By all means, no, that definitely. I picture that in my head. I pictured Mark taped to the wall, to be honest.
They were both taped to the wall.
Oh, I didn't picture it.
Yeah. Ethan almost got choked out. It was quite funny. What? Oh man, I love it. That's good.
Just a memory. Just a memory of it.
Yeah.
Not like he's got it saved anywhere.
Oh, dude, Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps, like, low-key came out as bisexual nonchalantly on a random Game Grumps episode.
When the fuck did he do this?
It was. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Game Grumps. It was The Grumps, the one where they do the 10-minute power hour.
Yeah.
They were eating like those Harry Potter beans and everything, they were doing dares at the same time, and it was like, I dare you to read the last text you sent to someone, and the last text he sent to someone was him describing whether or not he was bisexual to his mother. And his mother replied back, like, whatever you want to do, honey, I love you so much. You know, I'll always be there for you.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so it was just like, I listened to that and I'm like, did Aaron just like low-key come out as bisexual just completely nonchalantly?
Yeah, no,
like that's
a beautiful thing right there.
That is a beautiful thing. I mean, we all knew.
I didn't know shit.
Oh my god. I mean, if you were watching all of the
my game runs,
he literally has a song about dicks. Aaron has a song about dicks.
Not Ninja Sex Party?
Not Ninja Sex Party, just a song he used to sing to himself when he was in high school.
Oh, no, I didn't know anything about that.
Yes.
Yeah, no, my Game Grumps experience was literally Ego Raptor when he was still around.
Yeah, no, I remember.
The only experience I've had with Game Grumps after the fact are the Game Grumps episodes you showed me with Dan.
Right.
You showed me Ninja Sex Party, and I also took you to Game Grumps Live.
Yes.
And where they just kept talking about Mash and Tuck It all the damn time.
I love that they did that, and I love that they ran with that bit. It was so stupid.
It was so stupid.
Mash and Tuck It.
It was so bad. I love it. Oh my god.
Oh man.
And that was that was a really good time. I hate the fact that it was at fucking Foxwoods though.
Why? Is there something weird about Foxwoods?
I just hate Foxwoods.
Oh, is it drama?
No.
Association?
I might be banned from Foxwoods.
Is this a conversation we should have off stream?
No, like it's well known that I'm not well known, but like it's not something I was gambling over there once. It wasn't like I didn't go out of my way to gamble. You know I don't gamble.
Okay, gambling is the least amount of problems that I'm worried about. I'm worried about why you got banned. Because gambling at a casino doesn't get you banned.
No,
that's expected.
I was counting cards.
Dude!
I was just testing my hypothesis.
How old were you?
I had my car, so let's see. This was my what's it called car. This was my white car, my white Chevy that I had.
Right.
I was like 18 or 19. I would say 18 or 19. And then what's it called? I went there. It was a hypothesis. Old
enough to know not to count cards.
Well, no, I didn't care because I knew if I got caught, it was at Foxwoods, and Foxwoods. I don't give a shit about Foxwoods because it's Foxwoods, the shitty fucking casino. I love Mohegan. I would never fucking do that at Mohegan. I love.
Is
Mohegan.
there a stereotype that I don't know between Foxwoods and Mohegan?
It's for me preference. Also, Foxwoods is a shithole, low key. Like Mohegan,
Is it?
Gorgeous casino. Gorgeous casino. I love Mohegan.
I honestly, I think I've only been to the two of them a handful of times, and they're so like interchangeable in my mind that I wouldn't be able to differentiate.
Foxwoods is the shithole. Foxwoods is the shithole.
I mean, they both look, they're both large and maze-like.
Yes, but Foxwoods is the shithole. But no, I just tested a hypothesis because someone, like, I forget who I was talking to, someone was like, it's not that easy counting cards. I'm like, yes it is. And they're like, no, it's not. And I was gonna prove to them
you have a fast enough brain.
I was gonna prove to them that it was easy by literally going to the casino and winning money by counting cards.
Did you win money? Yeah. How much money did you win before you got caught?
Well, I lost all of it.
Right.
So I went in with $200. I racked up just shy of $7,000.
Oh shit.
And then like it turned really shady because you're thinking like I feel like security at a casino is way more strict than fucking airport security.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to get fucking like pat down naked like freaking like squat cough like type like.
What the heck?
It was like I don't know how to explain this experience.
Was their presence just intimidating?
Huh?
Was their presence just intimidating?
It wasn't. It was just sketchy. It was just sketchy. Like you feel like you're in this fucking mobster film and you're about to get your shit plastered on the wall. You know what I mean?
My goodness, yeah.
The room that they brought me in was just the plainest, emptiest fucking room. Just a table, 2 chairs. They sit you in the chair and everything. They took a picture of me too, by the way. So I can't go back to gamble at Foxwoods. If I buy tickets that happen that for an event at Foxwoods, they can't. They can't kick me out because it's unaffiliated from the gambling floor, which is fine. I also can't have a night I can't stay the night at Foxwoods either. But I can go to an event at Foxwoods. That's fine because it's not near the gambling floors. So, but they have a picture of me, and they figured it out. Let's see. I think I was gambling for like maybe an hour and a half. It wasn't anything, but also I wasn't really taking it seriously. Like I wasn't trying to rob the casino. I was just trying to like test out the hypothesis. I didn't really care if I won or lost. I was just trying to see if counting cards worked.
But you pissed them off so much that they banned you.
Well, yes and no. My fault and why I got caught was because I didn't switch tables, and I also didn't have a second person with me to make it seem like I wasn't counting cards. There's a way to do it that doesn't get you caught that I will not mention to incriminate myself on stream. To after, but you need 2 people in order to do this successfully.
Right.
And that's it. And it requires 1 person remaining in your seat to hold your what's it called spot 1, and 2 you need to be able to flip other tables as well. You can't stay at the same table because that's how you get caught. Hey Phantom, how we doing?
Hello, Phantom.
But yeah, no, that was one thing that got me caught, and I lost out on, I would say it was close to $7,200. It was like either just shy of $7,000 or it was $7,200. Either way, lost it all. I needed to keep my money, so that sucks. They just complicated that shit. All my shit is gone. I didn't get to cash out. They just were my.
So where does that money go?
Back to the casino.
Oh. But does it go back to the game or?
Well, no. So what happens is you have chips. So you buy chips. So I had $200 for gambling and stuff. So I bought $200 worth of chips. I started on like the low stakes tables and made my way up. So I racked up, I would say, about $1,000 with low stakes tables, and then the other like $5-6 grand that I racked up was on 1 high stakes table. And it wasn't anything serious. It wasn't Texas Hold'em because I don't know poker like that. It was really blackjack. It was like the easiest one to count cards. I don't know how to operate with the other ones, but blackjack's the easiest one to count cards. And I racked up that money, and I got caught, and shame on me. blah blah blah, whatever. I'm never gonna do it again. It was just kind of like a haha moment.
Yeah.
And the best part, and you know what? If I can, you know what? I might go to Foxwoods for sure and go like, hey, you know how you guys banned me? Can I have a picture just to prove a point? And I want to see if they'll give me the picture.
Yeah.
Look, hey guys, just so you know, this is my mugshot from Foxwoods.
That is awesome. That's the bragging rights right there. Yeah. You got banned from Foxwoods.
Yeah, for counting cards for shits and giggles, just to prove a point to someone I was talking to. That was it.
That is amazing.
I just wanted to, and also that another autistic trait. I did it out of fucking spite to prove a point.
Who was the person? Do I know them?
This was, let's see, 2018, 2019. I'm still in college. No, you don't know this person.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's fine.
College miscreants. They're like, no, it's all fake. And I'm like, it's not fake. It's fucking math. And they're like, oh, what kind of math it is? And I like literally broke down a fucking formula because it's 52 fucking cards in a deck. 52 cards in a deck. And I broke down the formula. I'm like, this is how it works. You just have to make sure you're very aware of what, and it's memory based. It's not just like, oh, you do 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you literally have to remember what cards you've also seen and eliminate them from your mind. So you're like, okay, we have a deck of XYZ. These are how many cards are on the table. This is how many cards are left in the stack, so on and so forth. And then you also have to be aware of how many stacks are on the table at one time. What I mean by that is in the dealer's thing.
This was your special interest at the time, wasn't it?
I watched a lot of heist movies. Like, heist movies were my jam then.
This was straight up your special interest.
Dude.
Even more evidence.
I also broke a lot of laws then, too. Like, I snuck into bars underage. Like, I was getting away with a lot of things. But the reason being is because, one, I was able to get away with it because I was confident that I was going to get away with it. Two, I'm not this nervous Nelly that's like, oh no, I don't think I'll ever get in. Like, I'm underage. Nah, I went in there looking like a grown-ass woman, going to bars.
I would be like, my body language would immediately give me away.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I was dressed like a grown-ass woman, but also, like, it's nice to be young and have a matured body, because I used that shit. I hoard myself out. Like, I used myself in ways to get into places.
Yeah.
So it was a nice advantage, the feminine advantage.
I could probably say that too, but it was mostly to get like the child discount at restaurants.
Oh yeah, no. So that was the favorite thing. Anytime he and I would go to the movies, I would make sure I buy the child ticket, and because he's so funny, I would get away with it. No one would ask, like, "How old are you?"
Yeah, I didn't have the facial hair back then, so I always constantly looked like a 16-year-old.
I mean, he still looks like a baby, but like still. But no, what's it called? Fuck. Oh no, it's gone. It's gone.
It's okay. You've actually kept better track of the conversations than I have. Like, I've been losing you constantly. You've been inadvertently bringing me back. So.
All right, fair enough. I'm trying to remember. There was something relevant that I was talking about. Heist. I was into heist movies.
Special interest, autism.
Oh no, I was explaining like how and there was one time that I got caught, but it was too late for them to do anything about it. So I went out, I snuck into a bar. It was, this was 2017.
Oh shit.
2017, 2018. I was like 18, 19. So yeah. Dude, I was young. I was
reckless.
And I was just getting myself into no good trouble, but I wasn't getting caught. That's what happens when you have a cop as a dad. You know how to loophole shit.
Now let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you regret it?
What?
The shenanigans of your youth?
The only thing I regret was drinking as much as I did as a teen. But that also attributes to trauma. That was the the self-harm that I was into, between that and physical, it was literally, I was just drinking a lot as a 13-year-old up until school. I was fucking drunk half the time in school. I wasn't sober all the time in school. And that's a shame. If I could get that time back, I would. But I needed like a life, like something to happen for me to get out of that. And that was when I was out drinking. I was at a bar, or technically it was a club, underage. Got in because my coworkers happened to be in their 30s and 40s, and because I was with them, I was of age by affiliation.
Right.
And I didn't look young. Young in the face, but body of a grown-ass person. So who would think twice if I'm with a 40-year-old, a 35-year-old, so on and so forth. A late 20-year-old, no one's gonna think twice. So drinking a lot. I wasn't supposed to be drinking. It was just a quick in and out. It was supposed to be, and then I ended up partying, and I don't know what else I was drinking. I'm sure someone put something in my drink. I don't know, but I was up there. And what's it called? I had to follow a coworker home because they had a DUI, and they, in order to get home, had to blow a breathalyzer to get their car to turn on. So I had to follow them because they also weren't supposed to be driving either. So with that, and then what's it called? I followed them home, and then I was still drunk. I was driving home. This was back when I lived in Portland. So what's it called? So I was just driving across the bridge because that was when I worked in Middletown at that time. So I was driving across the bridge to get home, and I didn't even make it halfway down Main Street, Middletown, and I got pulled over. And it was one of the cops that knew me and knew my father. And I was just driving really, really slow, and he pulled me over, and he's just like, "Hey, what's going on?" And it was super fucking late. And I was like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Oh, officer so-and-so, thank you so much." And he's like, what's going on? Oh, and he's like, "Oh, dude, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I am so tired. I'm exhausted." I was like literally talking slow as shit so I wouldn't slur my words. I was like, "I am exhausted. I have worked a double." I did work a double that day. That was true.
Right.
From 9 o'clock in the morning, it was already like 2 a.m. at this point, I'm pretty sure. And what's it called? And I'm like, "I am exhausted," and he's like, "You're exhausted?" I'm like, "I'm burnt out." And I wasn't supposed to work a double. I picked up the shift because someone needed coverage, and I'm just driving really slow because I want to make it home tonight. And he's like, "Oh, do you want me to call your dad?" I'm like, No, don't call my dad. He's asleep. He's going to be up in a couple hours. He's like, "Okay, what can I do for you right now?" I'm like, "Can you follow me across the bridge? Would that be okay?" And he's like, "Follow you across the bridge?" He goes, "How far from the bridge do you live?" I'm like, literally 2 minutes down the road from the bridge. And he's like, "Oh, okay, I don't mind doing that for you." He followed me. I drove slow as shit.
Yeah.
Slow as shit. Until he veered off and went back across the bridge. Once I saw his lights on the distance disappear across the bridge, I fucking floored it home.
Man.
I have never drank like that since. I had not.
That was your wake-up call? That close call?
Huh?
That was your wake-up call?
That was my wake-up call to never drink and drive.
Right.
Specifically drink and drive. I've never drank and drive since then. Ever. Have I drank a lot like that? Fuck yeah, I have. But in the most recent years, no. I would say that happened before I went overseas to the UK. Spent my month over there, and then got absolutely fucked up for St. Patty's Day. And then St. Patty's Day was another wake-up call, like, you really shouldn't be doing this. But that was also excessive as hell. Like, that was like, that's never happening again. I don't care if I go over for Patty's Day ever again to visit Lewis. Like, I'm never drinking like that ever again. We started at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't get home until like 2 o'clock the next morning. Never doing that again.
Yeah.
That's psycho level shit. That was too much for me. I mean, drank like that since then. Let's see. And even then, yeah, no. And the only the only other night, let's see, after the fact, I think it was the end of 2018, because I was leaving one of my jobs I think I told you about this. I was leaving one of my jobs, and my coworkers, now that I wasn't their manager anymore, was like, "Yeah, let's celebrate you. You were leaving." Da, da, da. They took me. and I was a couple drinks back, so on and so forth. Where the fuck is this? Hold on. Is this better? That's a little bit better. Jesus, that was so fucking dark. I threw back a couple drinks, so on and so forth, and then one of them's like, "Hey, you wanna do Molly?" And I was like, "Well, I've never done it." And they're like, "Well, you can do it now." And I did it. I got sober so fucking quick. That's the one thing you don't.
So what did you do?
Molly.
A what?
Molly.
Nolly?
Molly.
Oh, Molly. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I had a friend that did Molly. It's not like a super hard drug or anything, but I know. Yeah, I know people that really hated it and really liked it.
Yeah, I hated it because it literally just sobered me the fuck up, to be honest with you. And it ruined my buzz, everything. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm stone cold sober. Obviously, like, if I got pulled over, I probably would have had to DUI with the amount of
Yeah.
But I was like fucking.
It levels you up. If it's a stimulant, your body's already stimulated. Yeah, that makes sense that it just leveled you out.
Yeah, it leveled me the fuck out, and I was like,
that's crazy.
And because, like, also fun fact, having PTSD and CPTSD, and also being autistic and not fucking knowing it, all these levels of like details and hypervigilance and this survival mode literally kicked in like in 0.2, and I sobered the fuck up in probably like maybe 2 minutes of having that in my stomach. It was absolutely insane. And I was like, well, my entire night's fucking ruined because I'm supposed to be celebrating, and now everyone else that I'm with is all fucking tore up. I wasn't even supposed to be DD. Someone else was supposed to be DD, and I ended up DD. I was so mad, but it is what it is. I had to babysit everyone else.
Oh, that sucks.
And then I went and had a really nice waffle with one of the other sober friends. And it was like 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. We're at Athenian Diner.
Those 4 a.m. meals though at diners hit different. Yeah. I mean, I've never been drunk at a diner, but there's been a few times where my family has been out and about at ungodly hours.
Yeah.
We've gone and had some breakfasts. So good.
Now Athenian's not overnight anymore. They close at 12 a.m.
Why?
Yeah, so if I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe my waffles and strawberries, I'm gonna have to fucking wait till 5 o'clock in the morning.
I feel like all diners should be.
After COVID, they changed their hours, which is completely understandable.
Completely.
But yeah, no, what's it called? I drank all my coffee. All right, that's depressing. But no.
I don't have any water.
What else could we like touch base on, or is it? I mean, I feel like we.
We did the LGBT mafia, right?
Yeah, we talked about the LGBT mafia. I mean, we didn't really touch base on the rest of the mafia. But I mean, like, I feel like, so question for you, actually, speaking of the mafia, Q, do you think that means questioning or queer?
Queer.
Okay, because there's some people that have said, oh yeah, it's questioning, but I'm like, is it? Wouldn't you, if you're questioning?
If you're questioning, you're not really part of the mafia yet, are you? You're still trying to figure yourself out, and then once you identify with that,
questioning, it technically make you queer if you know you're not 100% straight and you're not sure what you are, or you're not 100% on the gender binary, then wouldn't that still make you queer?
No, because questioning doesn't always entail that someone knows that they're not part of the binary.
Okay, fair enough.
There has been, many times throughout history where guys will experiment with other guys and then realize that they're not gay.
No, fair
so
enough,
yeah, so it's just, I think it's queer personally.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. No,
I mean, if somebody else thinks something different, I would love to hear your opinion on it.
Actually, you know what? I want to see what the LGBT long word stands for. LGBT.
What do you mean?
Form.
Like queer, intersex.
Okay, so it's LGBTQIP2SAA. So lesbian.
Wait, let me hold on. I want to try and guess this.
Okay,
So you said LGBTQIA, right?
Hold on. Let me. No. I'm gonna post it in the chat for everyone.
Okay.
Hold on. We're gonna get that shit right here. How was the rest of your work shift, Ignited?
LGBTQQ?
Yeah, QQ.
Maybe the second Q is for questioning. Who knows? I'm not sure about that whole QQ. I is intersex, P is pansexual, 2 is two-spirit. S?
Yep. S.
Sapiosexual? I don't know. What is sapiosexual? I don't know what S is.
S is a part of the 2.
Is it also like indigenous?
Yeah, so I guess the 2S means two-spirit. So the number
so it is 2. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was just 2.
Spirit, yeah.
Okay, two-spirit.
And then AA. AA.
Androgynous? No, because that's... I already said asexual for that first one.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's where the first one is. Well, I don't know the second one.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know the second one.
Ready?
What's the second one? Yeah.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, queer, intersex, pansexual, two-spirit, androgynous, and asexual.
Oh, okay. I feel like androgynous isn't... I don't know, just goes under the trans umbrella for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Doesn't intersex fall under the trans umbrella?
Kind of, but not really, because people can be born intersex. So...
Oh my god. But yeah,
it's all very complicated, but it's actually very simple.
Yeah.
Depends on who you talk to, really.
Yeah, it does depend on who you talk to, because some people could completely go on this elaborate thing, and us were like, nah, it's really this, that, and the third. However, the gay experience is a completely different thing, person to person. But like, no, it's pretty straightforward on who's gay, lesbian, bi, so on and so forth, trans, That is pretty straightforward. You are who you are. No, you can't really argue that whatsoever. People are who they are. But the experience that they live are different person to person, and no one can validate that.
People seem to think that there's set rules that people must adhere to be part of the LGBT community, and it's not that. It's not like that at all.
I have to pee really badly, so give me 2 seconds.
Go pee. I'm gonna grab something to drink, so there will be a quick hiatus.
Okie dokie, we are back, and not for nothing, I feel like we touched base with a handful of stuff, plenty out the gate, like I said, it was pretty basic. We didn't have to really go ham on it.
We didn't really want to get too deep in this one because we're just coming back, so.
Yeah, of course, and I feel like this is a good thing we can talk about because this is something that we both resonate with, we relate to, and it's easy for us to talk about, in my opinion, compared to something like mental health, where it sometimes takes a lot out of us to just be able to talk about and dive into. That being said, next Tuesday, we are going to plan to play a game for you guys. So instead of being here on StreamYard and on YouTube, we're going to possibly revive something on hiatus. I'm not going to say what, because I still have to decide. But we might be reviving a already existing playlist, or we might start something new. So I'll keep you guys
Everything is subject to change.
Yeah, exactly. We live our lives on a whim, so fuck it, you know?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Also, you never know. We could really lead up to like the first, like the 30 minutes before we go live, and we're like, you know what, maybe we play this, and that'd be simple. Because sometimes I change my mind that quickly when it comes to what I want to stream, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, no, I'm content with what we got into. I'm happy to talk more about it. If there are any questions that you guys have, please leave it in the comments below, because we can also address it for the next episodes. But yeah, no, here's to Pride Month coming up in literally 2 days.
Yes.
And
I'm going to Pride. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. It's going to be grand. But as the bottom of the screen says, be your damn self 100% of the time. Shamelessly, apologetically, and don't let anyone tell you how to live your fucking life, because you know you the best. End of.
Well put.
And that's a hill that I'm going to die on. But that being said, this is Chaos, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.